1985, Moriarty, New Mexico. In those days, the town was thriving, shaping up to be the next Albuquerque. Now, amongst all that growth and commerce, one place stood tall as the king. The big store, where my mom worked. Now, I'm sort of a small dude. And on top of that, I ain't exactly socially intelligent, which led to me falling into the wrong crowd. And by crowd, I mean company. Because I hear you need 3 for the former. That's how it was. Just me and my friend Stebo, the resident D&D, monk and warlock, respectively. Shoot, man. Where should I begin? Oh, I know. See, it all started this one day. There I was, minding the big store when I see on the rack this Dungeons & Dragons adventure book, Demon's Lament. Now, there'd been rumors going around, the satanic panic and all that. And as far as I knew, this book was out of print. So I stole it. Now Stebo, my friend, was even smaller and weaker than me. He had this crush on this chick named Whitney, which was no big secret because old Stebo had this thing where his legs would get restless when he was nervous and he'd kind of start tap dancing uncontrollably. So he comes to me that morning like, "Be my Cyrano, be my Cyrano." And I was like, "F you, dude, just 'cause I got a big ass nose." But I already knew what was up when I saw him doing the mashed potato next to Whitney. Apparently, dat lady told him to meet her at the park after dark. So I went with him, hid in a bush, and got ready to shout him some advice like in the story. So after a bit, she finally appeared, and there was Stebo looking like a Michael Jackson backup dancer, moonwalking in the moonlight. She said, "Hey," or something, and Stebo just stood there doing the Macarena. So from the bushes I'm shouting, "Invite her to dance! Invite her to dance!" Then I was like, "Light a match for her cigarette." Then Stebo whined, "No way! Fire scares me." That's when I heard Stebo scream and looked out and saw his big brother, Leo. "Sup, bro? You hitting on my lady?" Next thing I know, Leo started whooping his ass. By the time Stebo was KO'd and Leo was squaring up with me, I put 2 and 2 together, which equaled, "Ah, fuck." I got some licks in, though. I remember waking up Stebo and he was all apologetic. "Oh, dang, sorry, man. He beat you up all sick." I laughed. "You should see the other guy. He doesn't even look like he got into a fight." Turns out that Leo had started dating Whitney the day before, and she mentioned Stebo had a thing for her. So there we were in my room playing D&D all beat to shit. "You drank from the holy water font and have contracted AIDS." "What? No, I didn't. Save and throw. Go." "Failed. You got AIDS, bro. Put that on your character sheet and smoke it." That's when I remembered it. I guess I was just trying to get out of giving my character AIDS, so I pulled it from my backpack and handed Stebo Demon's Lament, him being the dungeon master and all. His eyes lit up as he grabbed it. I remember he smiled, I nodded, and he read the seal. It said, "Do you accept the price to open?" "Ah, yeah," he screamed, giddy as a fucking loon. Next thing I know, he breaks the seal, goes to open it. The cover cuts his hand wide open, and he tosses the book right into a candle, and the whole thing goes up in smoke, releasing a high-pitched shriek like, "Yee! A curse be upon your blood and all those who mingle with said blood." The next day, things were different. The bullies all kept their distance. Leo skipped school, and I heard from Stebo that he was crying all night. After school, I went to the big store to check on my mom's and found her sick. She barely acknowledged me. And on top of that, the dang store roof was leaking on the taquitos and chimichangas. So, I skipped dinner. The whole town was getting goofy, and I swear I heard something whispering at me from the closet. Then, as soon as I fell asleep. Steve-O knocked on my window. He was in tears. "What happened?" I asked. "Well, I heard Leo crying out again. So I left my room, to check on him. He was in the kitchen, and his arms were bent back, crab walking. Then he turned to face me. And his face was all messed up, Then he screamed, 'Don't look at me.' And I noticed his shirt was torn. And I swear, dude, he had another head growing out of his stomach. And then that face looked at me too, and yelled, 'Mom! Mom! Mom!' Then he butt-scooted out the door and down the road. No way! Whose face be growing out his tummy?" He was sobbing. "Mr. T." Understandably, we skipped school the next day and dressed up as a wizard and monk and played some Dungeons and Dragons. When we went to the big store to stock up on refreshments, we noticed all of the strange things happening. Half the town was like wearing oversized sweaters, but some of them sweaters were like real tight, and you could see a face smashed up against them, their mouths moving and stuff. One guy had like an extra arm on his back, and I could see the fingers of it popping up out of his collar. That's when I tried to stop Steve-O from shuffling towards Whitney, who was projectile vomiting across the store while hiding the damn puppy growing out of the side of her head. But I was too late. They all screeched at once, my mom included, and they began contorting as their extra limbs and faces were revealed to the world. Next thing I know, Whitney's mouth opened like a cavern, and she has my little wizard buddy halfway swallowed. He was reaching out, screaming, "Oh shoot! Dang! Help me, dude! Oh my gosh, save me!" The rest of the town followed suit, and they began thrashing about, melding together into one fleshy being like a giant tapeworm reaching up towards the ceiling, and there was Steve-O being absorbed into that thing. My mind broke, and I ran for the liquor aisle, my safe space at the time, and I improvised a Molotov cocktail with a bottle of Everclear and my monk bandana. I could still hear Steve-O's cries, and could make out the shape of his face melting into the Lovecraftian nightmare. "Please, oh please, don't burn me, bro," he said, his famous last words. Then I let it fly. The whole thing ignited, reaching up to the ceiling, and by the time I got out, the big store was an inferno, and I could hear old Steve-O crying, "You asshole! Ah! You're a horrible person! Ah!" I sat there crying, watching it burn. And that's the story of my friend Steve-O, my best friend who really, really didn't want to be lit on fire.